we're all about to roll up here to the wrestling thing tonight, and as we get here, the cops are here raiding the house next door. So we're just gonna walk by, mind our own business, and
Right here, man. Let's get an interview. How long you been wrestling?
20 years.
20 years.
20 years.
20 years. So, do you got any heroes?
Man, to be honest with you, a lot of my heroes have already passed. Not only a lot of my heroes have already passed, but I still do have many heroes, especially the younger guys that breaks into this business, because they teach me stuff every day.
Right.
They teach me how to love this sport, how to regain that fire. Not only that, but my children, seeing my children cheer me on, they don't realize it, but they are my
family, right?
They my heroes.
Let me ask you this: do they have like kid leagues where, you know, to help the youth in the community, like with drugs and everything going on? This would be something great to be able to open up and let kids come, and I think kids love getting involved.
Almost definitely. You know,
we need more of that.
Like training camps and things?
Yeah.
You got plenty of training camps out here for teenagers, men. Well, should I say male and female?
They got
Right.
a female training class in wrestling for females.
So like, if my wife right here wanted to train to do what you doing in the ring, then they got a class for her.
Most definitely. Peace and love, bro.
So, do you have any words of wisdom or advice, or anybody coming up in any sport, whether it's basketball, football, wrestling, baseball, whatever they choose, even bowling? I say bowling's a sport. I'm a perfect game roller, but it's you against you, right?
Exactly.
So,
but you ask for words of encouragement. There's several words of encouragement. First of all, I'll just say this. A lot of people get into sports, and a lot of individuals put forth the effort, put forth the time, put forth the passion to be great.
Right.
And they lose a lot of friends, or they lose a lot of family members, so forth and so forth. So I say this to those individuals: the grass and the tree started at the same level until the tree grew up.
man, it's deep stuff, man.
You know what I mean? I just feel like individuals got to learn, like, it's okay to grow from your old,
Right.
and become something new and something better. Secondly, I say, if whatever it is that you're doing, continue to work hard, continue to push forward, continue to have that drive, determination, and love for it, because you will always be the best at whatever it is that you're doing.
Right. So we actually doing we're documenting his travels, and we're making like a little documentary about music and behind the scenes and just traveling and what it's like dealing with cancer. Do you have anything you would like to say to his family, maybe, or just anyone in general that's suffering through that?
Yes. It's a personal side note. I lost the lady that raised me to cancer, and I took for granted all the beautiful memories, the love.
That's why we're here right now with him, trying to make memories, man.
So, just to the family, don't take for granted the time that you have with this individual. Don't take for granted for the love and the memories that you share. Don't take for granted anything, because you never know what may happen, what may not happen.
Right.
You know, and me personally, I feel like he's gonna beat it.
Right.
But even if he does beat it, still never take for granted those moments, those memories, that love.
So anyways, guys, Friday night, when, you know, one of the first things we did, we all went to wrestling. I took them to the little wrestling spot. They really enjoyed it. Jeremy enjoyed it. His daughter enjoyed it. As you saw, we got to interview a wrestler. He touched on a little bit on cancer and his experience of dealing with it. And just a really eye-opening weekend, guys. And so anyways, after wrestling that night, we went back home. We all went to bed. Saturday morning, we woke up. Everybody was still crashed out. Me and Michael. Michael wanted to do a music video, so we loaded up in the car, just me and Michael, and we went out and shot a music video, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit of that. And then we're going to get into Jeremy's story, which is truly what this episode is about. So keep following along on the journey, guys. Michael, how you doing?
What's up, Brody?
Man, guys, we're up in a shooting location underneath the big old train bridge that, well, it actually looks like it needs a rebuild because
Waiting for the Pope monster or something to bust out on us. Sasquatch.
So we got a beautiful set here for the music video we're shooting today. Got the setup going on. We're about to start filming, and you guys gonna like this, man. This is the electric remake of Touch Peel Stain, which is originally an acoustic song. Him and his band made the electric version. I recorded this song a few years ago, I guess. And now we're down here in this beautiful area, creek. It's gonna be nice. So definitely got no cell service out here in this location. We out in the cut. We out in the cut. So anyways, guys, we're gonna get to work. You touch me, I won't let it go. Now I stand and I feel alone. Won't you touch me, I won't let it go. Yes, I found a reason, I don't need an excuse. I've got this time on my hands, you are the one to abuse. Yes, I finally found a reason, I don't need an excuse. I've got this time on my hands, you are the one to abuse. One to abuse. You're talking back to me, you won't let it be. Won't you touch me, never bothered you before. Now I stand and I feel alone. Won't you touch me, I won't let it go. Yes, I finally found a reason, I don't need an excuse. I've got this time on my hands, you are the one to abuse. Yes, I finally found a reason, I don't need an excuse. I've got this time on my hands, you are the one to abuse. One to abuse.
got this time on my hands. You are the one to abuse. Yes, I finally found a reason. I don't need an excuse. I got this time on my hands. You are the one to abuse. Yes, I finally found a reason. I don't need an excuse. I got this time on my hands. You are the one to abuse. This time on my hand, I got this time on my hand, I got it. You are the one to abuse. Got this time on my hand, I got this time on my hand, I got it. You are the one to abuse. One to abuse.
I'm Michael Cash.
I'm Jeremy.
And it was our idea to come down here and tell Jeremy's story about cancer.
And get to do a bucket list dream location as well.
Road tripping through Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so what they're letting you know is they had called me up on the phone, asked me if they could come down, spend the weekend, and share Jeremy's story. He's got terminal cancer. What kind of cancer do you have?
I have Ewing sarcoma, stage 4 bone cancer terminal.
Right, so he wanted to come down, get on one of our episodes, share his story. They reached out to me on the internet, asked if I'd be receptive to it. I was like, yeah, come on down. This video isn't about views. This video isn't about likes. This video is about bringing awareness and sharing a story from the real aspect of the journey of terminal cancer. So we're going to pick up this next clip of this video, and Jeremy's going to share a story with us. So let me ask you, were you pretty healthy growing up as a kid?
Oh yeah. I was in and out of the hospital because I was doing stupid stuff on my growing up, but yeah.
So you were in and out of the hospital a lot when you were younger?
Mostly for stitches.
For stitches?
Yeah.
So you were a pretty wild child, always
yeah.
running over rocks and so just normal illnesses that any kid would have.
Yeah.
What kid is it, right?
Yeah. So like, what were your 20s like? Most of your 20s healthy?
No, not really. I had a little ups and downs. Back problems started pretty early in my 20s. And
No, so you said back problems. When did you start?
I
Like
got
first notice?
degenerative disc disease, a herniated disc, a bulging disc, and major arthritis.
So in your 20s, you were experiencing that before any cancer diagnosis. Gotcha. So what led you to start going to the doctor that eventually had you?
Actually, what had happened was a fluke that we found out I had cancer at 27. For almost a year, my jaw kept swelling up bigger and bigger.
Now, how old were you when that was
going-
happening?
I think beginning of the year when I was 27,
Okay.
maybe 26.
So your jaw had just started hurting, like
Yeah,
just typical
it just
jaw
started
pain?
getting bigger and bigger and swelling up. I kept going to dentist after dentist. No one ever scanned it. They just said, oh, you got an abscess tooth, here's some antibiotics. And no one ever looked into it. Well, I was doing helping out at a haunted hayride when I was 27. I had fell and my back landed right on the back of a metal chair. And put me in severe pain. I had to go to the spine doctor who did a total bone scan. And when he was doing that, I asked him about my jaw. And he didn't say nothing.
So when they were doing a bone scan, they were doing it on your body, but not up here on your head.
Mostly on my back, but they did the entire bone.
Well,
to get everything.
So,
but he said,
you had shared with me with Ewing sarcoma that it usually doesn't manifest in the head. It usually manifests in the legs, the arms, the back. So that tells me
Very
probably
rare.
then they were suspecting this, but they dismissed your fears of your jaw because it typically doesn't present itself from what I've read in the jaws.
The doctor at first, he said he was a back doctor. He doesn't deal with the jaw.
Right.
He said you looks like you got a tumor. You might want to get it checked out. And then left the scan up on the wall for me to see the big black mass in my jaw.
Wow.
What was initially there for was my back. The doctor said, I actually got a chance to look at my jaw as he was getting ready to walk out the room. He says, "Oh, yeah, looks like you got a tumor. You might want to get checked out." He said,
So that's all he said to you. He didn't.
yeah,
he
he
didn't.
said, "I'm a back doctor. I don't deal with the jaw."
So you probably got a tumor in your jaw. You need to go see another doctor. Have a
He
good
left
day.
the scan up to show me there was a big black mass in my jaw.
So he didn't even really care much.
No,
Just another patient, another day,
pretty much.
like another car going through a mechanic shop. Just no real care. So what'd you do after that?
We started going to a couple of different doctors. He kept sending us doctor to doctor, and then right at the end, they sent us all the way up to UK and Lexington, and that's where we found out it was a tumor and what it was Ewing sarcoma.
So you did this happened, all this diagnosis, everything happened when you were 27. How old are you now?
I'm 39.
39. So you've been dealing with this for 12 years.
I turned terminal 4 years ago.
So when they,
July 17th.
you know, so a lot of people are going to wonder when you say terminal. Usually when we think terminal, you got 2-3 months to live. Apparently that's
They
not what
said
terminal means.
they
So what's the
don't know
terminology
how
of
long
terminal?
I got left.
So what's the
They said it will kill me, but they do not know for sure how long I have left.
so I guess in people
At the
it's
time.
aggressive, more aggressive in some people than other
This
people.
dude's a soldier,
I
man.
got
Well,
over
I've witnessed
30
that firsthand. He drove from
I got
Ohio
over
to Louisville.
110 I got over 30 tumors throughout my whole body.
Mm.
My entire spine, from my tailbone to all the way in my neck, is covered in tumors. My
Right.
entire spine.
I want to touch on something. Michael's like, you're a trooper. I mean, you guys got to understand something. This guy, they reached out to me last week, and they're like, hey, we want to come down this weekend and share the story. Are you open to that? And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's something real, you know, that I think awareness should be brought to. I'm down. And so this guy drives all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio, to pick up Michael and his family in
Northern
Louisville.
Kentucky area, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Basically
Close
by
to
Cincinnati.
yeah.
And he drives all the way to Louisville by himself. And you had
Where's my
chemo,
daughter?
what, 2 days? What, on Wednesday?
A couple of days prior.
Yeah, so on a Wednesday, Tuesday, he had chemo. 2-3 days later, this guy's in a car driving to Louisville to pick up Michael and his family to come here. And I don't know. I just think if I had chemo, I'm staying at the house. I mean, you're a trooper, bro.
And in between all that, we do these recovery drug addict events.
Right,
where
right.
We're playing music and we're helping.
And I've seen pictures where you're actually playing the bass guitar with Michael at these events.
Yeah.
So even on top of having the cancer, going through the chemo and terminal illness, you are still out and about going to recovery centers, sharing your story, sharing your struggle to a lot of people that really need to hear it.
People see what he's doing, man, and I think people get inspired with that, man. You know, I get choked up, man, sometimes, you know, talking about it because, from my perspective, and especially my wife's, man, it's real hard, you know, seeing someone you care about go through this, man. It doesn't just affect, I think, him. You know, I was talking to his mom. It affects your whole family.
Yeah, and friends.
And friends around you, and just anyone who cares about you. And it's like that song, man. I mean, it's like you say he's a trooper, man, but he wants to experience life. And that's,
Right, and he
yeah.
definitely, from y'all calling me wanting to
Right,
come do this,
yeah.
wants to share the story with as many people as you
Well,
can.
as of right now, the past month or two, my cancer has taken a turn for the worse. It has started going down very badly.
Now, has it
And
done
I'm
that
gonna
again in the past and then going to remission, or is this like the worst it's been?
This is the worst it's ever been. It's still getting worse.
So now, I'm looking at your face. So they actually had to
They've
cut all your
take-
jaw,
they've
right?
had to take 2 different sections of my jaw out and replace it with bones from my leg and the scapula.
And I want to show
from my
people
back.
that real quick, if you don't mind. he's got 2 spots right there. They took a chunk of bone out of his leg, and let's show the other one. And then they've taken another chunk of bone out of his leg, and they've done that to do reconstructive surgery on his face and use the bone.
The second time they did it, there was a problem, and the skin started dying around the bone in the middle, so they had to
In your jaw or on your leg?
In my jaw, so they had to cut out the dead bone and metal out of my jaw, take my left scapula out and put that in my jaw to fix it. So from right here over is all that's left of the original. My original.
So this is your
jaw.
original God-given face right here on the side, but this side.
There's nothing connecting the top and bottom bones here. It just hangs.
One of the
Nothing
things.
connecting.
One of the things I tell him all the time, you know, when he first came down and met us, he's always kind of self-conscious about how he looks, man. And there's this song by Coldplay that I always think of. Well, 2 of them actually, Fix You and Yellow. Like, the singer for that band, he went and seen a kid who just wanted to meet that band, right?
Right.
Ended up writing a song about that kid. He was a cancer patient or whatever. And, you know, I know that I can't really fix what's going on, but I can do the best that I can to be like a good friend to him, right? And just take the ride as he's taking it, you know.
Now y'all go to that Cincinnati area a lot, to where he lives a lot too, don't you?
Yeah, we go up to Legends. He has a podcast thing. Where
What's Legends?
Legends Bar and Venue. It's a music venue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In the town you live in. And what town do you hail from? I know we sang Cincinnati.
Verona, Kentucky.
What is it?
Verona, Kentucky, but we go to Legends in Cincinnati.
Well, okay, what was the name?
Verona, Kentucky.
Verona, Kentucky. Okay, and it's just a small town, probably like I live in.
Probably the
Or
closest.
is it bigger than this town I'm in, or
It's about the same size.
about the same time?
Yeah.
No,
There's
there's a
nearby
country
like
there.
Walton, Kentucky, and Florence,
Oh,
and
okay.
places like that.
And how far away are you from Cincinnati?
30 to 40 minute drive
okay,
to the
okay.
bridge.
But going to Louisville's like almost a 2-hour drive.
Hour and a half drive.
So, I just want to really ask some deep questions. So, what drives you to share your story? Is it to help other people, or is it to get out and for you can get people to understand what you're going through? I mean, when you
Help
share your
other
story,
people.
is it to help others,
To help others.
bring awareness? If you, so.
That even with cancer, you could still keep going. You could still make memories.
Now,
you could
it's
still
true.
make music.
You had mentioned to me throughout the weekend that you just have horrible luck, and that it's unheard of for somebody at 27 years old to get this cancer, because it's a pediatric cancer. So this is a cancer usually kids get between what was it that we were reading about, what ages?
It caps off at 18.
Yeah,
That's
yes.
the oldest.
So to get it at 27 is one
Very rare.
one out of
To get
millions.
it in the jaw was very rare, and the gene
So
that
it's rare to
causes
get
my
it
cancer,
after
other than
18,
1%.
but it's even rarer for it to present itself in a jaw at that.
And the gene that causes my cancer, only 1% of all the people that get this cancer is caused by this gene, and I'm in the 1%.
Right.
Only 1% of the patients that have this gene.
So this is a genetic. It's a genetic cancer. So it's something you were born with that just presented itself later on.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure on that, because
Right.
no one else in my family has ever had this cancer.
Right. No, I see what you're saying. That if it's hard for you to believe it's genetic, because if it's genetic, it should have presented itself with other people during your lineage. So, let me ask you about chemo. You hear a lot of horror stories about chemo. When you get chemo, so you go in, you get your chemo done. They do that through an IV.
This time they are, yes.
Okay.
I got
Okay,
a
so
stent.
so they keep
I got a stent in this time.
right, and they just keep that in that way. Now, how often do you get chemo?
Every 21 days. Right now.
For how long?
I don't know yet. I go on the 30th to go find out if the chemo's even working. I just had my second round of chemo.
Mm-hmm.
So they're wanting me to come in on the 30th to get all the scans to find out if it's working.
So that's basically
if
put
it's
you in an
showing the
MRI
tumors
machine.
and
Is that what they do?
MRI, CT, PET scan, whole 9 yards.
Oh, okay. So they'll do CAT scan, MRI, everything. Now, so you go in, you get the IV of chemo. Is it something that really just hits your body like right then and there, or is it something that takes hours or a day for it to hit you? And
Yeah, I feel it's by the end of that day. I'm there for 24 hours. So by the end of the day I get there to get it, by the end of that night, when it's still going is when I start feeling it real bad. And then I come home the next day, but it's just real rough. I'm not handling it too well this time through.
right. So
I've
does
been
it
mostly
take
doing
away your
radiation
appetite?
medicine.
And when you say it doesn't make you feel well, is it you
Yeah,
just want to sleep all the
can't
time?
Eat. I got like no appetite. I got thrush real bad because of.
And
the
thrush is a
chemo.
dry throat, dry mouth. Gotcha.
Me and my wife struggle real hard. Like if we the other day when we stopped at Wendy's, like it's hard for him to hold down food, but for him to stay healthy, it's like we try to.
You gotta eat. You
You
gotta
gotta eat, Jeremy. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
So you'll kind of apply the pressure to him. Like I know you don't want to eat, but you gotta eat.
You gotta eat, buddy.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like from the family and friend perspective, it's hard too, because you don't want him to go through the pain of possibly, it hurting his stomach and him throwing up. But it's like, it's a survival thing too. You have to have nutrients. You have to have food. You have to have water.
Right.
You
Now,
know what
I'm trying to touch on a lot of things here
Yeah.
on different angles because you want to bring awareness.
Yeah.
We hear, we got all this marijuana legalization going on across the country, and a
Right.
lot of people swear by marijuana to be used in combination with chemotherapy because it stimulates appetite. Have you had an experience with that at all?
I've been given permission, but I have not.
Okay. Is that something you think about doing
I
to
haven't
up your
decided.
appetite? Because Michael's right. You gotta eat.
Yeah.
Well, I can eat yogurt pretty much, and that stays in my stomach pretty well.
Right.
It's just right now it's really hard to taste much of anything.
So the chemo
So
takes away your taste
solid
too.
Food.
So chemo takes your taste away.
Well, right now it's the biggest issue is the thrush is taking away my taste.
Oh, okay. So it's the side
So I
effect
can't
of
really
thrush.
taste much
Right.
right now. But yogurt I can handle without much issue. Stays
Right.
on my stomach pretty well. But say anything other than yogurt that's more firm or solid, I have trouble eating it. I can
Right.
get maybe a few bites in, and then my stomach won't let me eat no more.
Now, do doctors they give you any type of multivitamins or anything to supplement?
But I got nausea medicine and other pain medicine.
So really, they get you on this chemo, and they don't do a whole lot for you
They're
to
trying.
help you address the symptoms of it. They just say, "Here's your chemo. We'll see you
they
in
gave me
23
stuff
days."
for the thrush.
Huh?
I just got stuff for the thrush that I've been recently using.
Right, but I'm just confused because everybody, I think it's a well-known thing when you get chemo, it really messes with your appetite.
Yeah.
You would think they would have part of your treatment plan, a plan on how to keep and stimulate the appetite instead of just sending you home. Who cares if you eat or not?
Right.
When eating is so important, you need those nutrients, and I just find that a little surprising that they don't, as part of the treatment plan, address that, knowing that's going to be a problem.
Right.
Now, you had mentioned me the other night that, I was like, if you were a billionaire like Bill Gates, do you feel like your treatment for your cancer would have been better and you would have had a better hope? And you said, yeah. So,
It seems like the more money you have, the more the more better treatments.
now I read online that they actually can use stem cell treatments to
They
treat
have
this.
never offered that.
Do you think that's a money
Told me
thing? Do you
about
think that's a
that.
money thing?
I think.
So,
It's
if you're a
possible.
billionaire, they probably would have done a stem cell.
But it's possible because they've tried every clinical trial. They signed me up for everything.
Right.
And I am denied every one of them because they will not work with the gene I have that causes my cancer.
Now,
I only
I'm-
have one gene that causes my cancer, and because of this gene, this so rare of a gene, we can barely find any chemo, radiation, any treatments that work with my cancer
Right.
because it's so rare.
Now, have you brought up stem cell treatment to your doctor?
Mm-hmm. 'Cause
What
I
have
never
you?
knew anything about it.
Yeah, because
I never looked into
right
it.
here it says, right here, that treatment often includes chemotherapy, radiation therapy, surgery, and stem cell transplant, targeted therapy, and immunotherapy are being studied.
Well, see,
And
note
so-
the study part at the end of that.
Yeah,
though,
but the
you know what
stem
I'm
cell
saying?
transplant wasn't part of that. They're saying the
Right.
targeted therapy and immunotherapy are being studied. So it shows that stem cell treatment is as much as the therapy as chemotherapy and radiation.
You see, with
But
cancer, there's
again,
so
with
much.
that, it depends on whether or not it will.
But yeah, I guess
Work
because
with
you said it's a
gene.
gene, so maybe that's why they never brought it up, is because stem cell doesn't work with that
See,
gene.
with it being such a rare cancer, I think there's so much research that
Yeah.
hasn't been done on it.
And being so rare, they don't
Yeah.
want to. They don't dump a ton of funding into the
Right.
research because it's all
Yeah.
about. I mean, the medical industry is all about profit. It's capitalism, and I think that's. I don't think our medical care should be that way. I think it should be a nonprofit industry, because if it was a nonprofit, well, that's such a tricky thing with medical,
Yeah.
because if it's nonprofit, we wouldn't have all the advances we have now. Nobody would have designed what. There would have been no
Doctors-
motivation to even do the.
Doctors that had no reason to work.
That's what I'm saying. There'd be
Yeah.
no reason to invent X-rays or treatments, you know. So I mean, it's just such a touchy subject,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you have witnessed that firsthand in the hospital setting. I mean, do you notice now what kind of insurance you got? Just like Medicaid, Medicare,
Humana.
huh?
Humana.
Oh, okay. So you got a private insurance company.
Yeah, it's a premium company.
Right. So that's a good thing. Now, something I think really touched me in your story is not on top of just having cancer. Your wife died from cancer, right?
No,
Oh.
she had other health issues.
Okay, she died from other health issues. You two had a daughter together. And you are now raising your daughter all by yourself.
With the help of my parents.
Right. I mean, she actually came down. She spent the weekend here with you. And I just commend the heck out of that, you know, and has this affected her a lot, your daughter? Now, I'm sure she's a big help for you, though. I've seen her this
Yeah.
weekend, and she's always, Dad, you okay? So, I mean, I just commend that, man. You're an inspiration for me. Michael, privately, when we were shooting music videos yesterday, was talking about how much you're an inspiration. I mean, he broke down in tears in the car yesterday, just, you know, he
Yeah,
worried
come back
about
from
you, you know.
The wrestling match.
Yeah. Did you like that wrestling?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been to anything like that before?
Yeah.
That was raw and uncut, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think about Michael over there trying to starting beef with the
He said-
wrestlers?
he said, "Shut up, you
That was
idiot!"
fun.
That was good
was
stuff,
fun.
man.
Now, as far like you said, the cancer's taking a turn for the worse. You have mentioned in the past that you've gone into remission when your cancer got bad
Twice.
before. Yeah, so there's still a really good chance. Well, I'm not gonna say really good, but there's still that possibility
Yeah,
that
right
this
now,
chemo
they're
could put you
saying
into
that.
remission.
They're saying there is no possibility of remission ever again.
Now, what makes them say that? What's the? I mean, what do they?
Right now, they're doing all they can just to prolong it as long as they can.
Right.
Because the tumors keep growing so fast. And
Right.
More and more just keep growing.
Now, when's the last time you had a surgery?
It's been a while.
Has it? Now, how do you, when you had the surgeries? I mean, when we talk about taking bone
It
out of
was
legs
rough.
and then
I
putting them
had
in your
to
face,
learn
that's
to
almost
walk
having like a
again
double
twice.
wound. How was the
I had to
recovery
learn
from that?
They were rough. Learning to be able to put weight on my leg again and walk properly. But I thought times I did the leg was rough, but the worst was when they did my left arm, my scapula. It took a lot longer, and the physical therapy, everything was so much more painful.
Yeah,
and
because
brutal.
just
You
so
have to
everybody
move
knows what
that
we're talking
back to
about,
my
on his
arm.
back, on his shoulder blade there, they actually took bone out, right?
Here, I'll show you.
Okay. He's gonna show. I mean, so they've taken bone. Is it on purpose where they take the bone from, or they just go to the easiest spots, or is it
They
something?
can only do it for certain areas. Like,
Yeah, I got you. You okay? I don't want to hurt you, okay?
So they've taken a bone out of there to put in his jaw as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that just looks intensely painful, man. So, let's get back onto this. Is you found a cool form of therapy for you. That's just like the doctors found the chemo as a therapy for your cancer. You found a therapy. You know, just like doing the road trip to come down here, you got a bucket list you want to get out and do. And Michael's been telling me, you know, we touched on a little bit earlier, is music is a way for you to get out and, you know, feel like you're still human, I guess, right? Is that the best way for me to say it? And so elaborate. You guys go to that Easy Does It. You know, you go to different recovery centers and perform. And tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of them in the Louisville area that we frequent pretty.
Right.
You know, there's the Ice House, and I know that sounds like I think there's a beer brand called that, but like it's they have AA meetings and like
At the Ice House.
Yeah, it's a Vision for You, which is a sober living
Right.
house. Basically, like if you're a recovering addict or alcoholic, it's looked at like a disease.
Well, so let me ask you this: you've never been like an addict or none of that.
No.
What drives you to the recovery centers?
It's me.
Oh, okay.
I suffer with those things. Like,
Okay.
So
It's not because you had people in your family or nothing. Michael's just turned you on to a good cause, and it's really growed on you to do it.
I
Gotcha.
support him with his cancer fight, right?
Right, and
And
he
so-
supports you on the recovery fight.
Yeah, 'cause I've been sober since August 10th of 2021.
Right.
So, I mean, it feels like a long time ago, but it also feels like it was just yesterday, man. And every time, it's like when we were in Nashville, a guy came up. He said, "Hey, man, I'm hungry," and he told me he was homeless, man. And so I gave him an Easy Does It card, gave him my phone number. I was like, "Hey, man, call me if you want to get sober." You know what I'm saying? I know people.
Right.
We got recovery centers in Louisville. We send people everywhere, across state lines to get people.
And the recovery center that you guys do stuff through, actually the courts send people to this recovery center to do court mandated material.
Yeah, sometimes we do get some shady people.
Yeah.
And
And we don't have to touch base on that because I know where
Right.
you're going with because we
Yeah.
talked about it. But some people that come in there, you wish you guys
That-
had your way to say you're gonna have to go to
I
another
wish there was a
place.
better. I wish there was a better way to filter alcoholics, because a lot of times the court will just say you need to go to AA, and you're not even an alcoholic.
Yeah.
There is that case. It's a small percentage.
Well,
but-
we'll touch on it. You say
Yeah.
they'll send sexual predators there.
Yeah.
You
So-
know, that are sexual registry listed.
So-
and you got people in there recovering, and then you got the sexual predators who try to take advantage of the people that are trying to recover.
Yeah, the women
And
and children.
it just
that are
doesn't
in-
mix.
in the
It's like
program,
oil and
yeah.
water, yeah.
Um,
So let me ask you this: what is it that you want people to take away from this video that to never quit, keep fighting?
Yeah, never quit. There's always a silver lining, no matter how dark it seems. You
Right.
just gotta keep holding on, keep pushing.
Now let me ask you this, and if you could go back in time, you know, we talked a lot about it where you had these problems and the symptoms were presenting themselves for the cancer for quite a while, but people put it off. Oh, the tooth pain. Here's some antibiotics. Here's this. If you could go back, would you chose to push harder back on the doctors, or
It wouldn't have made any bit of a difference.
it wouldn't have? So
By the time that they found out, it was all cobwebs. Like all of a sudden, the cobwebs.
right. So that 3 months that you were fighting to get a diagnosis wouldn't have made a difference either way. I got you.
So I got a question, Jerry.
Yeah,
You
brother,
say
too big.
it was all cobwebs. So
It looked like just a cobwebs. The bone, the tumor ate the bone so bad it looked like just
yeah.
a
So
cobweb.
the cancer actually.
Eats the bone.
Okay, so these affects the bone marrow and all that stuff. Then. Okay.
So it hardly ever manifests in the jaw.
Yeah.
So now I get when you told me that you got hit with a double whammy. You got a super rare
Triple.
cancer, and then it went to a super rare spot.
Yeah.
And triple the gene.
Yeah, and then the gene.
Yeah,
So-
I'm only in the 1 percentile of that gene.
So most people that get this cancer don't have that gene that you got. I got you.
Only 1% of the people that get this cancer has this gene.
So
Which makes it so hard to fight the cancer.
So now I want to get on some more
nothing works on it.
right. Now I want to get on some more positive. You guys, Michael's really helping you get out to achieve your bucket list. So you came down here. You've been doing the Easy Does It, which are things that have been on your bucket list. What other things that do you have on your bucket list that you hope to achieve?
There's other places I want to go visit.
Like what other places?
Cleveland.
The Rock, Cleveland, Ohio.
Why Cleveland, Ohio?
Columbus, the Rock and
Well,
Roll Museum.
Oh, you want to go to the Rock?
Well,
that's where the
actually-
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is, right?
It's actually in Cleveland, but yeah.
Oh, it's Cleveland, okay.
Yeah, we came across some guys in Nashville that are from there, and I was saying, oh yeah, we're going to Columbus, and he was telling me Cleveland on the video clip because we were documenting everything. He's
Right,
like, yeah,
right.
he's like, no, that's in Cleveland. But
So when y'all planning on going there?
It depends on how I feel
Right.
after we get back.
So you got to go back, get that chemo done again. Well, the body scan, and then however that turns out will dictate when you get to go.
for me and my wife, it's almost like he just wants to do things,
But
and
I still can.
Right.
why
So you got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What other things were on your bucket list? That you hope to achieve?
I can't remember. My memory's a little messed up.
I mean, you want to go see sports games or
Not a big fan.
not a
of
big
sports.
fan of sport? Do you like to go to concerts?
Mhm.
Who would be the biggest artist that you would love if you could put on your bucket list?
Iron Maiden or Black Veil Brides?
Okay, I've heard the first one. What was the second one?
Black Veil Brides. They're more
Rocky,
modern
hard rock.
modern
okay.
pop rock, metal, punk kind of.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Now, what's your favorite band of all time?
I got two, Dragon Force and Iron Maiden.
Oh, okay. And Iron Maiden, I think, is actually still out doing shows, aren't they?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Now, TV and movie, what's your favorite programs to watch?
I watch YouTube a lot or Netflix or Amazon. But I watch a lot of anime, but my favorite movie's always been the original Dragon Park movie.
Okay. Now, let me just ask you this. I'm just trying to ask a lot of questions. Some of it won't make it, of course, but I want to just put as many questions I can in there. Say miraculously your cancer just got cured tomorrow. What would be your goals in life?
I have no idea.
You just ain't thought that far.
Hey,
'cause-
dude, we're gonna make it to the top. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll.
Now, how did you get into playing guitars and bass guitars? Was it just a little hobby, or?
Can I tell that
At the
story?
time, I've been playing off and on for years, and then I had put it away for a while after my wife passed.
Right.
And then he got me to get back into the music and playing again.
Now, when your wife passed, was that something that happened very quickly, or was it a slow
Passed in the
process?
middle of the night, she bust in her sleep, very sudden.
So you guys didn't even see it coming? Oh, man. So that had to be hard on top of it, and you already had your cancer at that time. So you're having, dude, you're the strongest guy I've ever met, man. Get in a car after chemo, 3 days after chemo, drive to Louisville. The next day you're here.
And this
Spend the whole weekend here.
is
You guys are
something-
leaving out here, going to Nashville, getting a hotel, spending a night or two there.
And we're gonna, when we leave
Then-
here, we're going back
Back
to
to Louisville.
Nashville.
Yeah, well, that's what I just said. And then you're
Yeah.
going to go to Louisville. Then you're going to drive back home by yourself to Ohio.
Well, my daughter's with me.
Yeah, she don't drive though.
Oh, no.
No, you got to drive by yourself. And then you got to go back. And then a week after that, if not even a week.
It's going to be maybe a month before I try and go anywhere else.
Yeah,
Well,
we're gonna,
I'm just saying. I'm just talking about his timeline. After
Yeah.
this whole trip, by this time next week, you're going to be having full body scans being done. And then after that, that's going to determine the next
I
course
know-
of action they're going to go as far as chemo. Now, they don't do radiation,
That's mostly what they do.
huh?
Mostly what they do is radiation because I've had so many.
Well, I thought you
emergency
said
tumors.
chemo. I thought chemo and radiation are two different things.
It is.
Oh,
They stopped the radiation and started the chemo.
so it's like a double. They're
They
getting
were
double
doing
labor.
radiation because the T8 and T9 had tumors in my spine pressing against my spinal cord.
Right.
Now, what I've
So they had
done.
Now, does it, when you got the
Emergency
tumors on your
radiation.
spine, do you feel like tingling
It's
in your
hard to
legs,
walk.
or
It makes it hard to walk sometimes.
does it?
What I've noticed is when he goes through the chemo, his energy's not beat down to the point of
No,
being
it's
able to
worse with
function.
chemo.
But I think the radiation stuff beats you down more. Like my
100%.
grandmother, she developed like
So the radiation hits harder than the chemo.
About the same. It depends on the stuff. I think this time the chemo's hit more.
Really?
I mean, either way, it's tough, you know.
Yeah.
But I know. Me and my wife talked about this. I know he's got a lot of bucket list stuff that he wants to scratch off and stuff.
Right.
And I know, like, I feel like after this trip, because like we just came off of Ohio, like you were talking about, and some other stuff.
Well, we were all talking. We were all talking.
Parties,
We
you know
were
what I'm
looking at him
saying?
last night, and we were all talking about getting a cabin here, maybe August, September,
Yeah.
and going to Gatlinburg for a weekend.
Yeah.
Is that something you would like to add to your bucket
Oh
list?
yeah.
Go
I
out
love
there.
Smoky
Yeah.
Mountains,
I
yeah.
love Gatlinburg.
I bet a hot
We
tub
got to
would
see
feel
the
great for your
BMW
body.
meme.
Huh?
The BMW meme. The BMW meme.
Oh, yeah, I was showing him last night about the BMW craze that's over in Gatlinburg. This is his daughter. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
Hi, she's a trooper, man. She sticks right by this guy's side, and I think it's amazing. I think you're an amazing daughter for your father, and I think he's really proud of you.
Very much
Yeah.
so.
And you keep him pumped up and positive, So anyways, guys, I just want to say, Jeremy, you're a very big inspiration to me, man. I will never forget this weekend. In fact, this weekend will be something that I mold into my life when I go through my darkest days. And praying for you, brother. And I'm really glad y'all reached out to come down and share your story with me and everybody else. And you're in my prayers, man. I think God's got your back, man. I think God's got a lot of work left for you here. Anyways, y'all, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next episode.